Somebody asked me yesterday what I thought was the future of the English as a nation. And it prompted me to think of a poem by Padre Pius. He was an Irish revolutionary shot by the British after the 1916 uprising in Dublin. As I'm sure viewers know, Ireland was once a great kingdom, and at its centre was a ceremonial site known as Tara. Today this is just a grassy hill. Here's Padre Pius, his poem The World Has Conquered. The wind hath scattered like dust, Alexander, Caesar and all that shared their sway. Taro is grass. And behold how Troy lieth low, and even the English perchance there will come. I'm not sure by weird English people should imagine that our culture will last forever and that England and the English are going to be the exception to the general rule that all civilizations and cultures have their hour in the sun and then tend to fade into obscurity and often vanish entirely. This was the fate of the Babylonians, Assyrians, ancient Egypt, the Incas, and Aztecs. Often those cultures were overrun by foreigners, and even the ethnicity of the places was obliterated. This happened when the Arabs invaded Egypt, for instance. It seems entirely possible that England may be heading in the same direction towards ethnic and cultural oblivion. I see signs of this all around. When I moved to Essex 20 years ago, my wife and I coined a slogan for the town we came to live in. It was "Welcome to Latin," and the town immigration forgot. It was 100% white English in 1999 today. On the way back from buying my newspaper, I was walking along Rectory Lane, the road which leads towards my home. Two things struck me. The first was passing the little church of St. Nicholas, which, when we moved here, was an archetype of a small English church. In the graveyard lies Sarah Catherine Martin, who wrote the nursery rhyme of Old Mother Hubbard. The wall around the graveyard data from the 16th century. It's the oldest structure locally. A few years ago, this church was sold to the Romanian Orthodox Church, and only Romanians now use it. It's closed to English worshippers. I don't believe for a moment that those Romanians hold that church and recognize the grave of the woman who wrote Mother Hubbard in the same way that English people to it means the English cultural aspect of it has been lost forever. Shortly after I passed that Nicholas, I encountered two families of Afghans. The women wore hijabs and traditional costumes. These have been housed in the town of refugees. I see them about the streets, whether because of the presence of the Romanian Orthodox Church or not, I couldn't say. But I'm also coming across many Eastern Europeans now who have moved to the area. I hear Romanian spoken by mothers with small children at least as often as I hear English these days in the street. In short, the town's character is changing fast, and I can see that English will, at best, make up 50% of the population in another few years. This process is happening throughout the country, even in the smallest English villages and towns. Little by little, our own distinctive culture is being overlaid and eroded. Suppose the Prime Minister, with their origins in the Indian subcontinent, is disappointed in a few months. In that case, the process will accelerate because none of those people has any honest loyalty or attachment to England, not the way I speak plainly. I'm not confident about the chances of England's survival, and I have a horrible suspicion that my country and civilization may end in dust, which is not a cheery thought.